Good afternoon, everyone. Less than a month ago, Taiwan, 10 days in a row above 36 degrees Celsius, a new record. Since they began keeping records in 1897, wouldn't have anything to do with the CO2 temperature weather stations placed exactly at street corners in the cities compared to what's on the university campuses. Nice look at some of the new cell towers disguised as trees. And those of you looking for earthquakes that disappear off the USGS site, here you go. Here's a nice rundown of the ones that occurred over the last week in Taiwan. And as you're watching the video, please remember to subscribe to Adapt 2030 and click the bell so you can stay subscribed to get the latest updates. A couple of weeks ago when I was talking about record cold in the eastern Maritimes of Canada and Ontario, somebody sent me the link and said, explain this away. You're in Taiwan. And the headline reads, Mercury hits 38°C, 10 consecutive days of above 36 since 1897. Now this image and report comes from the Central Weather Bureau. Wide out here on the statistic. And notice the linear uptrend as well from, say, 1985. That was when the development of Taipei really kicked in high gear. And when you start to see temperature stations with the pollution monitoring that are right on some of the busiest street corners across Taipei, they do this hybrid mix where they're trying to do the pollution and the weather and rainfall gauges together. You get these things on top of buildings as well. Let's take a look into the Taipei city map. Anywhere you see those red dots, that is a temperature monitoring station that's used to collate all of these temperatures together to come up with the average temperature for the city of the day. Now, when you see those orange lines running across, those are interstates that run through the city on raised platforms. Notice how many of those red dots are right on those expressways. Additionally, when you see those blue or red lines, those are MRT underground subway lines. And right above those are the busiest streets in Taipei, those thoroughfares. And again, notice how many of those red dots lie directly on either the brown line, the blue line, or the red line. So you start asking yourself, when you look into Google Maps then, this is absolutely the busiest roundabout section in Taipei, up in Nehu. Of course, they're going to give higher readings. And again, this is one of the busiest thoroughfares, Xi'an Lu. It's actually a cross-section of where like 6 interstates and divergent roads come together and then split off again through Shipai Lu. And that temperature monitoring station that you see where it says Section 2 Xi'an Lu, that traffic backs up from that stoplight and reaches that temperature station in idling traffic during rush hour. So you can see how easily it could be explained that these temperatures are reaching all-time consecutive day of record. Of course, these temperature stations are right in the middle of the city along thoroughfares. A glimpse of the amount of stations across Taiwan. National Weather Bureau really does a good job, though, especially with the reporting on the typhoons coming through. I give them props for that. But then again, when we're looking at the university temperature stations, look where these are. This is in the same city. Now, do you think these two stations are going to give different readings in the temperature? Very similar to what we see on the mountaintops. But I do believe it's the placement of these temperature stations making higher readings and then setting these records. Also wanted to bring it to your attention what's the new rage is disguising the cell towers as trees so they're unnoticeable. Well, I happened to glimpse this one when I was hiking. This is right in the Yangmingshan National Park area. And I know a lot of you also notice that earthquakes disappear off USGS or are routinely downgraded. Here's a list of earthquakes in the same time frame when that news article started from August 14th until September 1st. You can compare it with USGS and see what's lacking. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. And with all the NOAA data manipulation, and we've seen these temperature stations move to the end of airport landing runways and all these types of things, takeoff areas, and also moved into parking lots. This is what's going on in Taipei. So it's not an isolated incident that it just happens in the United States. So when they talk about global average temperatures rising, well, this is the input from Taiwan.